Welcome to Spacevidcast. Normally I'd restart, but that was just funny. Episode 30.
Click.
Yeah, I know. Just go. Episode 30 for November 7th, 2008. My name is Benjamin Higginbotham. This is the beautiful, wonderful, talented, incredible, lovely...
Oh, no. Don't say it like it's a bother.
Carrie Ann Higginbotham. We are the Spacevidcasters. And some of you may have missed this show live.
Yes.
And you're watching this on demand, and you're going to yourself...
Wait a minute.
Why?
How did that happen?
They changed. They're broadcasting at a different time.
Why did they do that?
Why did they do that? And actually, you're wrong. We always broadcast 2 a.m. Coordinated Universal Time. Keep in mind that Coordinated Universal Time does not honor Daylight Savings Time, which means that if you do honor Daylight Savings Time and your time changed and went backwards an hour, the GMT, UTC, all that fun jazz, none of them follow that. We are a worldwide show, so we do follow GMT and UTC because everyone on the planet needs to be able to see us. So there you go. So remember that if you do honor Daylight Savings Time, we're an hour earlier than we were before, and then when we don't do so, it'll jump back and forth. That's just because for some reason your area chooses to honor Daylight Savings Time.
We just like to mess with you.
Yeah, they do. Now, before we get into space news, I've got a couple of really cool things, and I want to just give out a couple of shout-outs to people.
What?
What?
You don't do that.
I know, but I am.
But you don't.
Yes, but this is cool.
Oh.
The first one is we are now on Wiki. Isn't that awesome?
That is awesome.
U5KO spent a lot of time making this happen. So if you go over to Wikipedia, you can see a Spacevidcast page. And I just think it's really awesome that one of the Spacevidcasters have been taking the time to make all of this happen and put this page together. And if you look at the page, he's actually got quite a bit of detail there. But the nice thing about Wiki is that it is user generated. So you can actually go in and make changes yourself and, just make it a really cool site.
Talk about how cool you think we are.
Get some more details in there.
I really like Ben's outfit in episode 32.
Yeah, maybe, if you find some, not a lot of people know this, but we actually do throw Easter eggs all throughout a lot of these shows.
Oh my goodness,
and I never mention them to anyone. So if you found an Easter egg, feel free to post it on a wiki. Now, we're not going to post it because it's kind of lame when the person the wiki's about goes in and edits the wiki. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You just don't really want to do that. So we're not going to do that. But feel free to go in and make changes. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to Starbucks Lova, and I'm gonna hurt Steve Jobs. So Starbucks Lova, and that's my graphic of Starbucks Lova. I'm actually not sure if that's the Starbucks that she's loving, or if maybe that's the Starbucks that she's loving, or maybe it's that Starbucks that she's loving. I really don't know. It's one of those Starbucks. So, but she's a Starbucks Lova, and she takes care of our Twitter accounts and makes sure that everything's up to date and everything's going well. So, thanks to her. And we got a lot of people that are working behind the scenes to make this show go. They're all donating their time, and I just wanted to give a shout out to everyone who donates their time and makes that happen for us. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started with some space news. Space news! All right.
Okay, so I don't know if anybody knows, but there's been some space trash floating out there in space world, and some of it has actually come all the way down into Earth's atmosphere. And it's about a 1,400-pound ammonia tank that is burned up over the Pacific Ocean as of this last Sunday. Pardon me. And it kind of fell into the ocean between Australia and New Zealand. So nobody was hurt, which is a really good thing. But I don't know if you've got the picture up, because I can't quite tell at the moment. But the picture is of, yep, there you go, is of the astronaut with the actual ammonia tank that fell down to Earth. Now, one would think that we would have heard about this if it was that significant, but he kind of threw it out into space in order to burn all the way down to Earth July 23rd of 2007. So it's been almost a year and a half for this thing to get all the way down into our oceans. And really the biggest piece, they think, was about 40 pounds. And again, like I said, it went into the ocean, so it's really not that big of a deal. But I just thought that was kind of cool. And I like that we actually have a picture of the astronaut with his little, cool, here's my trash, and I'm going to throw it out there. So there you go. It finally has come down, and after, which is pretty good. 1,400 pounds versus 40 pounds was the biggest chunk. Now, granted, it's coming in at 100 miles an hour, so I'm sure it can make a couple of waves. If it hits somebody on the head, that would not be good. But in general, that's not bad, I thought. So there you go. We finally have our first space trash burning all the way down to Earth.
Cool.
Yeah. So there you go.
All right. And we also have, I have one named Declaration.
Yeah, okay. So this is kind of hard to explain.
Here's the picture.
Yeah, okay. So 60 years ago, the United Nations General Assembly in Paris made a Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And it's just now being adopted, and it's going into space. And it will be held... which picture? Yes.
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
that's where it's going to be.
Okay.
It's going to be held at the ESA's, I believe it's the European Space Agency's Columbus Laboratory at the ISS. So that's where it's going to be held. It basically talks about, it's kind of like a Declaration of Independence to a certain extent, except it's a declaration for all humankind. Article 1 of the document says, all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. They are endowed with reason and conscience, and should act towards one another in a spirit of brotherhood. So I thought that was really cool because it's kind of like this. It's not a declaration of space anything per se, but that's where it's that's the European Space Agency Columbus Laboratory as part of the International Space Station, and that's where it's going to be making its home. I just thought it was really cool that they made this declaration back in 1948. You know, and now finally it's kind of going up there, and it's going to be, somebody says, the Declaration can symbolically find its place above all peoples of the world.
Oh, above all peoples of the world.
I know. You know me. I like silly, sappy stuff like that. So I thought that was cool.
So that was 48 years ago?
That was 60 years ago.
I'm sorry, 60 years ago.
1948.
1948. Well, guess what happened 50 years ago?
What happened 50 years ago?
Ping! You guys think seen that graphic yet?
Oh, that's right! Happy birthday, NASA, which actually was on October 1st, but NASA has finally, because there's a lot of people in NASA, finally have grouped together and are throwing themselves their own birthday party. Now, I know you're laughing at me.
Well, no, I'm laughing at NASA, not at you.
Well, okay, but this is the really cool thing. They finally have kind of figured out that in order to get people, especially the younger generations, excited and interested in NASA again, what they're doing is, this is a worldwide birthday party, all via the internet.
Cool.
So, unfortunately, I have to read this, so I apologize.
Oh, wait. Well, if you're going to read it, then let me do this.
Okay, good.
Here, watch. Here, bing.
Woohoo! Schools all over the world will wish NASA happy birthday as part of the all-day virtual birthday party through NASA's Digital Learning Network on Thursday, November 13th. The virtual party begins at 9 a.m. EST, with live video conferences occurring every hour on the hour until 6 p.m. Schools from Canada, Australia, the United Kingdom, Japan, Mexico City, India, Slovenia, and New Zealand will participate in the live digital connection. During each webcast, international schools will connect with a U.S. school and one of NASA's, quote, 10 field centers. I'm not really sure exactly what that is. I think that's like the KSC and the JSC. And okay. Yeah. Each digital learning network site will host 45-minute video conference featuring a unique program in NASA's 50 years of discovery and exploration in science, astronautics, and space.
Well, Kat's asking if Slovenia is where USKO is, or U5KO. I guess it depends on how you...
Right.
Actually, I have no idea. He's, again, the guy who did our Wikipedia article. Right, and, by the way, he digs us all the time, so you gotta love him. He's our favorite.
Or we're his favorite.
One of the two.
It's mutual. I think you're right, Kat. I think he is in Slovenia. So that's really cool. I don't know how old he is, though, so I don't know if he would be...
I don't care. He's contributing a lot to the show.
But what I'm saying is I don't know. I don't think he would be in one of the schools that would be participating in this.
Yep.
However, I do have a website. Pardon me. I don't know. My problem is today. Where you can view the live webcast on November 13th. And I'll throw that into the show notes as it's like dln.nasa.gov.content.webcast, blah, 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 blah. Right. So I'll throw it in the show notes. But as far as I can tell, you can just click on that and actually sign yourself in, even though you're not with a class or anybody. So you can still see kind of what's going on. But I just thought that was so cool.
Yeah, it is.
All these little kids kind of coming together around the world.
Yep.
and celebrating NASA's birthday.
Yeah, the world's largest space agency, the only organization ever to send people to the moon, humans to the moon, and trying to send humans back. So it's love them or hate them, it's still, they've done some remarkable things for humanity, and it's just awesome. I think the whole online thing is really cool too.
Right, and especially, like I said, for like the slightly younger generation, I mean, everything they do is online. Even stuff that isn't online looks like it's online. So to be able to kind of, I of course, in my mind, I have that telepresence commercial in my head, with the great big screen with a little like Indian kid talking, a little Asian kid, whatever, and
right.
Boop, 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 that kind of stuff.
Were you with me at Telepresence World?
No, I was not.
Okay.
But that's what I have. I know, everyone's laughing at me, but that's what I have in my head. Of course, it probably won't be nearly that cool. But they're going over a lot of different things. Project Mercury, the Space Shuttle, Viking Project, Hubble Telescope, Gemini, anything and everything that was a big milestone in NASA's 50 years, they're going over. And I don't know, I thought that was fascinating.
Yeah, that's your word.
Dare to use that word.
Dare you use that word one more time. All right, well, we've got STS-126 coming up in a little over a week. And with STS-126, we're going to be talking about some different websites you can go to get information, real-time information.
Besides our website?
Well, yeah, I mean, this is where you get your base level.
Where else would you go? I don't understand.
But, sometimes you just want to be tapped in, right? You got all these websites open.
You can't have Ben and
tabs
Carrie Ann 24/7.
Actually, that's actually a common thought, and it's wrong. You can have Ben and Carrie Ann 24/7.
Yeah, but you have to move in.
So we're going to be talking about, when we get back, we're going to be talking about some of the different websites you can go to that will get you access to a lot of great content for space travel. So stay with us, Spacevidcast. We'll be right back. I can do it. There we go. So for everyone wondering, I've moved to the we've got a new MacBook sitting here. This is one of the new kick butt Apple, made out of a single piece of aluminum MacBooks.
It's really pretty.
Oh, it's great.
And really
I moved
pretty.
it from the iMac so that I could have the interface right in front of me, so I could make better eye contact with the camera, because that's important.
Right, because otherwise he's doing a lot of this.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm constantly turning away from you guys, and I got sick of doing that. And so I got this umbilical of cables coming over here, and there's a bug in the trackpad. Because the trackpad is the entire button, and so you can click, but it won't register the click, and so you'll sit there and you'll just click over and over and over again trying to make it register the click. Apparently Steve Jobs have said, yes, there's a software fix coming, because apparently it's a software glitch. But man, it doesn't really help me in the middle of the show. Maybe I could just plug in a mouse, but there are no USB ports on this side. Yeah. Other than that, it's actually a great system.
It's beautiful.
It's been working great for me.
Right.
Yep.
Just
too bad.
One little button.
Yeah, well, no, it's one giant button. It also, oh man, working in Photoshop can be interesting too, because you hit, I'm used to having the button at the bottom, so I'll accidentally twist my finger around, and the whole canvas will go wink, because it all's aware of all the trackpad stuff now.
Of course.
It's really interesting. So, STS-126 is coming up,
Yes.
and you want to get your fix of space news. And, of course, you're watching Spacevidcast live because we will be covering the launch live here on Spacevidcast.com. And just as with STS-125, where they can go, up to a week before and go, yeah, we're going to scrub that whole thing, they can scrub it again. So,
Right.
the date can change and move, and as Kat just posted in the chat room, there is the Wikipedia article on STS-126. I do believe it's currently slated for November 15th launch date, which is just a little bit over a week from now.
14th.
14th? No, I'm pretty sure it's November 15th launch date. Okay, yeah. So UTC, November 15th.
Okay.
Just a pinch after the...
Thank you.
Yeah, because, again, we're
UTC.
worldwide...
Yes, you're right.
We're a worldwide show. Well, okay, now hang on.
In Minnesota. It's the 14th.
Yes, but you can't do that because...
No, you're right. You're totally right.
But hang on, it's not your fault. NASA does the same thing. They launch the space shuttle in Eastern time.
Right.
10 seconds after they launch, they switch to Central time.
Right.
And then as they land, they go back to whatever time zone it happens to land in.
Right.
That makes me bleed from my eyes. I have
Yes.
no idea why they do that.
It's kinda pretty.
Just choose coordinated universal time and kind of pretty?
What?
Is that what you said?
What? No. Why would I say that? That's ridiculous.
Awkward.
Okay, anyhow.
All right, yeah. I said this once before. I complained about it before, but still, come on, guys, man. All right, so I wanted to cover some different websites and different outlets you can go to that can get you some up-to-date space information. So you guys already know about Spacevidcast because you're clearly watching our show, and you hopefully already know about all the different Spacevidcast accounts. Spacevidcast on Twitter. We've got STS126 on Twitter, and a bunch of other fun things like that. So you already follow all that. You guys you've got us in Facebook. You've got us in MySpace. That's already assumed. And if you don't have us in any of those, then for shame. Seriously. What? Man. But what about other websites?
You're so mean.
I am. I'm cruel.
All right, well, let's start with the obvious. How about NASA.gov? Just a thought.
Oh, I was going to start with NASA Watch. Actually, I don't think I even put NASA.gov in there.
Really? Wow, do you suck a whole lot?
I didn't.
Oh, well, I'll talk about NASA.gov.
NASA.gov. No, we'll start with NASA Watch and we'll end on NASA.gov.
Fine.
All right.
NASA Watch.
Yeah.
Which is not a NASA website, just so you know.
They just watch NASA.
Right. Well, I mean, there's a bunch of websites out there. I mean, it's kind of like us. We rebroadcast NASA TV, but we are not associated with NASA.
That's
So
correct.
It's that kind of a thing. The thing to know about NASA Watch... Oh, no, never mind. I have my notes incorrect. La, la, la.
Yeah, they're not in order. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Because it decided to order it however it wanted.
That's very cool. That's
Yep.
good. All right. Well, is there anything else you wanted to add to NASA Watch?
No, I mean, you use it to... well, actually, yeah, one thing. NASA Watch has On Orbit. And On Orbit is kind of like a dig for just...
Space stuff.
Space news, and you can find that at onorbit.com, I think it is. Is it .org or .com?
Well, keep talking and I'll figure it out.
So it's kind of cool and kind of useless at the same time because Dig has their science technology section.
Right.
So we get a lot more traffic from Dig. In fact, we get...
And as does Reddit.
Right. So... now, NASA Watch is pretty cool. On Orbit's kind of lame, but, we still get submitted to On Orbit.
Onorbit.com.
Onorbit.com. We still get submitted to On Orbit, and you can definitely follow that and see some of the space stuff that's going on. But it's really specific to space travel and space news. So thank you, Kat, for typing that in the chat room. Onorbit.com. But NASA Watch is just a good general site, I think, for finding...
It's kind of no frills. A lot of these sites, like, not that our site is gorgeous necessarily, but our site looks beautiful compared to a lot of these sites because, it's just news stuff. So they'll grab news from different places, they'll throw it up there. Maybe there'll be a picture, maybe there won't be a picture, and that's kind of what it is. But when all you're really looking for is the information, it's great for that.
Well,
so,
speaking of, let's go into hardcore information.
yes, Blue Fox, by far the most beautiful. Of course it is.
So hardcore information would be NASAspaceflight.com.
Yes.
If you want to get into the nitty-gritty, like how large is the bolt on the right solid rocket booster that's holding up
for
the...
sure.
Oh my gosh. These guys, if you sign up for their L2 premium section, you can get access to some insane data on everything NASA.
Right, which, is great. I mean, because you can sign up for the L2. 2 months is about $20. 6 months is about $50, and for an annual fee, it's about $100. It's a little steep, but like Ben said, I mean, if you really, really want to know all of that information, they've got it, they'll give it to you.
And actually, NASA Spaceflight is, I believe, the most expensive website that I found out there by a pretty large margin, but they're also they have the most data. By a very large margin.
Tons.
Right, so you get what you pay for, right?
Data, pictures, I mean, you name it, they've got it.
Now, we are NASA Spaceflight members as well. Unfortunately, it is a walled garden, so we are prevented from mentioning anything that we find behind that walled garden that we can't find somewhere else. We can't talk about on the show without.
Other than it's really cool.
Yeah, without permission. So I can't tell you. I can't tell you a lot of what is back there. But as November Cat said, they are the most thorough. They do have the most information, and they are one of the premium resources when it comes to NASA spaceflight out there. Then there's also what's the second one that charges?
Spaceflight Now.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit cheaper, a little bit more easier to handle. It's about $8 a month, or $23 for 3 months, $35 for 6 months, or for an entire year, it's $50. So about half.
And that's for Spaceflight Now Plus service, I think.
Correct. Yeah, you can go to spaceflightnow.com, and most of that stuff, the basic stuff, if you will, is free. So that's really nice. And they also have a lot of information. Now, granted, when you go to all of these different sites, you're going to get a lot of the same kinds of information, because a lot of people pull stuff down like from NASA or from AP, or directly from ESA, that kind of thing. So you're going to get some overlap. But it's kind of nice, I think, to get people's slightly different perspective on it.
Right.
And they don't always throw it in there, because they do try to be objective for the most part, but every once in a while something will kind of sneak in and be like, and those greasy bastards, and then I find that kind of stuff entertaining, but that's just me.
This thing with Spaceflight Now Plus service is, up until recently, I actually suggested people don't order the Plus service.
Right.
And the reason for that is most of the videos on Plus service are simply the NASA satellite system. So almost all of those videos you can get for free right here on spacevidcast.com, and you can sign up for our iTunes channel and download the H.264, or you can watch it right in your browser at a fairly high resolution. But recently, they started getting the NASA HD stuff off the C-band satellite.
Yeah.
And they will give you the full 720p video.
Yeah.
While SpaceVidcast is working on making that happen, we do have a technical limitation in that we don't have access to those satellites because we can't put a C-band dish up to get that.
Right.
So
we're working on it.
If you want the full HD videos of these things, Spaceflight Now has access to that. Now, our own PSB from PSB Satellite is able to capture a lot of this information, a lot of these HD shows like launches and whatnot, in high definition for us. So we will have launches and landings in high definition for you. But they have a lot more content in HD than we do right now. So it's definitely, if you want the high quality, really great footage, definitely sign up for the Plus service. $50 a month for HD.
No, $50 a year.
I'm sorry, $50 a year. Yeah, a month, right? $50 a year for HD service is really, really cool, and that's
worth it in my mind.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's just me,
What do you want to do next?
Whatever you want to do next, I guess.
What did we do? We did that one. We did NASA Watch.
Okay.
Space travel.
Okay.
Bing.
Space-travel.com.
Totally free.
Totally free. Yeah, The next couple are completely free. And again, it's just another one of those sites where it's like one guy sort of behind the scenes, kind of like we are to a certain extent, who's pulling down this information, compiling it, putting it up there for you. And the nice thing is, I think, when it's like one guy or two guys, that they really do try to get the things that are more interesting to them, if that makes any sense. So this guy,
we do the same thing.
Yeah,
we tend to, we'll be in pre-show, and I'll be like, skip that, that's boring.
Right. So space travel is very specific to, let me think, space travel. That's all that he really focuses on. He doesn't do a lot of universe stuff. He doesn't do a lot of astronomy, any of that stuff. He really just does space travel, which I think is nice. So like the NGLLC kind of stuff, Google Lunar X Prize, that sort of thing. Anything ESA's doing, China's doing, India's doing, all of that stuff is going to be here. He tries to search it out. It may not be as up to date like instantaneously, because like I said, it is one guy. I'm sure he does have an actual regular day job. But
just like us.
Right, but by the end of the day, he will compile as much information as he can find, and it's really great. I think it's a nice place to kind of, for that sort of specific thing.
Yep.
If that makes any sense.
So you'd mentioned Universe, covering stuff in the universe. Universe Today.
So Universe Today, again, another...
Now, were we around first or were they around first? I think they were around first.
They were around first.
Because our logos are very similar.
Our logos are a little similar. But
ours is cooler, though.
There are a lot of logos that are like ours that are very similar, because I think a lot of people kind of harken back to the 50s, yesterday's tomorrow kind of stuff.
Yesterday's tomorrow, yeah.
And I think it's nostalgia to a certain extent. Even though we weren't around at that time, I think that's how we think of space. That's how we want to think of space. That's how we want everyone else to think of space.
Well, with Constellation, we get to go back to that.
Yes.
Why develop new technology when you can use 30-year technology?
Okay, you know what? That's a completely different thing for a
suppose it is.
completely different day. So anyhow, so Universe Today, he, however, does a little bit of space travel, a little bit of astronomy, a little bit of, you name it, it's going to be in there. He does a lot of different little things. He likes to do, like, we didn't do it this week, but a lot of times we like to do the TLAs. He likes to do the Where in the Universe.
Ooh.
So sometimes it looks like it's a constellation, or it looks like it's a comet or something like that, and it's actually like, some fuzz that was on the tip of his pen or something like that. But he took a really good picture of it, so I don't know. He's kind of funny. He's a little bit funnier
and popular
guy.
too. I mean, that website has like 37,000 RSS readers right now.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
One guy kind of sticking it out there.
Yeah.
That's where I get some of the slightly quirkier things, like the telescope's birthday. I got that there. It was the only place that I even found it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's a little bit quirkier, but, that's why I like him personally.
Cool.
Okay, so SpaceRef is, again, another one of those, not necessarily bare bones, but it's definitely to the point. There's about 20 pictures that this guy uses, and he just keeps throwing them back up there, so anything that has to do with NASA, you get the NASA picture, and anything that has to do with the China stuff, you get the China picture. But, I mean, that's fine, because really what you're there for is the information.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, all I'm saying is SpaceRef rules. SpaceRef does rule as far as I'm concerned. He is also the guy who does the on-orbit stuff.
Yep.
So he's got his fingers in a couple of different things, which is sort of nice. So if you like a little bit more of the on-orbit thing is a little bit more of the Facebook-y kind of dig sort of thing going on. But SpaceRef.com proper is really just as much information as you can possibly get on there. Yes, a lot of these people are also on Twitter, so if you want to follow them that way, feel free to do that.
You know what we should do? We should compile a list of all their Twitter accounts, and we'll post the Twitter accounts, and by the way, we'll post all of these URLs in the show notes.
Yeah.
So if you're watching us on YouTube, we'll have that in the show notes over there, or on Spacevidcast.com, we'll have the show notes.
It'll be like this.
It will be. I swear it's going to be a really long page like this. It's going to be insane.
Like 3 pages
it's going to
long.
be insane. But we will get all of this for you. But, I kind of, not only did I want to cover the websites, but I mean, you just, anyone can post a link to websites, but give you an idea as to why we use these websites, because we need to find sources for information for these shows. And, we use these websites every single day. Now, there's one more website I know, and you cannot forget this website because it's probably the largest out there.
Wait, what's it? It's like
Spoon? Spark? Oh, Space.com. That was
That's
it.
what it is.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Space.com. Pretty much you have to be stupid not to have heard about this one, because even if you haven't heard about this one, it's kind of a great big no duh.
And they have a cool logo.
They do have kind of a cool logo.
Yeah.
But we have a cooler logo.
It's got that, like, Earth thing going on. I like that logo.
Space.com is an interesting one because a lot of people like it. A lot of people like to go there. A lot of people find lots of great information. I personally am extremely overwhelmed by Space.com. I go there, I look at like one picture, maybe two, and then I'm out of there.
Because the thing is, they cover everything.
Handle it.
But they cover absolutely everything.
They do.
You need to find the niche that you're interested in. Are you interested in robotic spaceflight, human spaceflight, universe type stuff, astrology? I mean, whatever it may be.
Space.com really does live up to its name because it is absolutely freaking everything that has to do with space, including like when they go to Antarctica and they're doing stuff down there. They cover that stuff too. They cover it all. And I am very overwhelmed by Space.com. In fact, I think NASA.gov is easier to navigate than Space.com.
That's impressive because NASA.gov is
horrible.
Not easy to navigate.
Horrible. It's pretty, but it's horrible. In any case, but So there's that kind of thing.
Now, Kat asked, what about or as she wrote, but Bad Astronomy. Bad Astronomy. Actually, that's a good website, but I don't think we use that website a whole lot for finding news for like STS-126 stuff or just general stuff. Bad Astronomy is great, but not really this niche. Definitely a fun website. And
he does cover it. To me, it feels a little bit after the fact, which is fine. I mean, Lord knows, he's got plenty of stuff to do. He's got a book that just came out, blah, blah, blah. He's got interviews, all of that fun stuff. But if I'm going to be looking for, like, the latest and greatest on STS-126, I'm probably going to hit Space Travel. I'm probably going to hit NASA Watch before I hit Bad Astronomy to get my latest and greatest. Yes, it is Kat's niche. Absolutely. Phil is great, don't get me wrong. Very cool guy. Love just about everything that he does. It's very, very interesting. But, you know, when you're talking about this kind of thing as opposed to that kind of thing,
So the chat, and this is why we have the live chat room, because, you know, not only do we get to give you our favorite picks, now we, of course, left some of them out, but Arnie just mentioned hobbyspace.com. That's another great website, so you can go there. You've got Bad Astronomy. That was Kat's favorite website. So chat room, just, if the chat room has a particular website that's your favorite, you know, let us know right now. In the meantime, what is Carrie Ann's web pick? If you could only go to one website every day, which one website would you go to? Space related. Because otherwise you'd choose, like, you know...
Besides ours?
Oh, yes, besides ours. because everyone else...
being, like, set up for... And boom.
Everyone else would choose Spacevidcast. No, yeah. So one other space-related website that's not Spacevidcast, where would you go?
Wow. Oh, that's really hard for me.
Why?
Because SpaceRef has what I feel to be the most up-to-date information. Like, as soon as it comes out, I usually find it there before I find it anywhere else.
Yep.
But within, like, the next 10 minutes, I'll find it everywhere else.
Right.
It's just, for some reason, they're really on top of things. However, Universe Today, a little on the quirkier side. And I'm a little bit, I like that kind of slightly off-kilter, you know... weird stuff.
I'm going to choose for you, and I'm going to say you would prefer Universe Today.
All right, if I have to choose one.
You have to choose one. I think you would choose Universe Today. Now, if I had to choose one, I would actually choose NASA Spaceflight because I'm an L2 member and because I like to geek out in the hardcore. They've got a great L2 video section that's, you know, things exploding and just really neat behind-the-scenes type stuff of, like, just what's going on, like, in the control room. And stuff like that. So that would be the website I would choose. Snibble brought up actually a really great website that I can't believe we left off our list. The Launchpad.
Launchpad.xprize.org.
Yes. Yeah, so definitely for the privatized space section, privatized space travel, the Launchpad, fantastic blog that also features some Spacevidcast news, so we like them even more.
Yes, every once in a while they do kind of put us up there a little bit. Run by Mike Fabio and...
is it Fabio? I like Fabio better. No, I know it's not Fabio, but in my head I'm always like Fabio.
A good, hearty Minnesotan, William Pomerantz, who we of course have had on a couple of times here.
Well, Mike is the Minnesotan. Bill
Mike
is William.
Right. Mike is the Minnesotan. Mike Fabio, the Minnesotan.
Yeah. Well, you made it sound like William.
I'm sorry. And then William Pomerantz, who we have had on a couple of times. Yes, GLXP.
Yeah.
Who also has a Twitter at GLXP. But yeah, no, they've got a lot of really great information. Unfortunately, to a certain extent, again, because they're so involved in all of it, they have a tendency to be like one day behind themselves. So actually the Twitter stuff is probably better than the blog if you want it like now kind of thing. But getting all those videos and stuff up there, they're pretty good about that. They've got tons of pictures. Like William Pomerantz was not within the safety zone, but within the safe zone of where people could be for the Northrop Grumman Lunar Lander Challenge. And so he has some amazing pictures from that. Really super, way more up close than anything that we could have gotten.
By the way, X Prize, I will sign whatever document I need to sign that says my life it's okay, let me into those safety zones.
Yeah, whatever that is.
You just let me know.
He'll sign it and I won't. Actually, so I can make sure that we keep this going.
I think it's a legal thing, but
whatever. No, not so much.
All right, guys, so that is our show for this week. Again, if you're watching us on demand because you missed the live show, remember we follow coordinated universal time. So if you follow daylight savings and if your time went backwards an hour, then the show went backwards an hour as well. So the times are now 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, 8 o'clock Central Standard Standard Time and 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
But it is still 2 a.m. Coordinated Universal Time
2
on
a.m.
Fridays.
Coordinated Universal Time. We will always be at 2 a.m. Coordinated Universal Time, unless we actually choose to move the show to a new time slot.
Right.
That time is fixed and does not change.
Yep.
So there you go. Actually, this is the best time zone to be in because Standard Time is universal. So, like, sometimes when you're in, let's say, Central Daylight Time, some people will choose not to honor daylight, so you'll have
Right.
Central Daylight Time and Central Standard Time at the same time.
Right.
But I don't know of anyone doing daylight without. So it's all
Right.
it's
Standard
all
is
straight.
standard is-
It's all
yeah.
it's all standard
Only
time
half
now.
the year are we actually coordinated.
Exactly. Half the year
our
it all
time
kind of
zone.
sinks, and then the other half of the year, some people decide to change their clock and move it forward an hour, which
Crazy
is
people.
insane, but okay. Whatever. All right. I'd like to thank everyone for watching. Join us next week, next Thursday, for next Spacevidcast at 2 o'clock a.m. Coordinated Universal Time. Definitely join us live and join the chat room. Actually, that particular show will be right before the launch of STS-126, if everything's going all right. And we'll be covering STS-126 with extended coverage before, during, and after the launch right here on SpaceVidcast.com. Now, I'm debating, this is the first you've heard of this.
Yay!
Ready? Debating doing extended coverage every single day of the STS-126 mission.
Okay, well, really?
Yeah. So I'd like to, if you guys are thinking about it, I'd love to get your feedback on
we
that.
don't really. Really?
Oh, yeah?
No, you're not.
Oh, yeah?
Really.
Oh, yeah?
Okay, seriously, you guys, this is the first time I've heard of this.
Oh, yeah? It really is the first time she's heard of
No,
that.
I think that'd be great.
I need to go talk to my wife. See you guys later.